I am Dr. Rimpi Arora, President of RCS Positive Abilities Rotary Club in India. I am currently engaged as the principal researcher for India's first multi-inclusive film, The Awaz. It is a privilege to extend a warm welcome to you all for this special session of our live broadcast series, proudly presented by the Rotary Club of World Disability Advocacy. This series is a platform where we engage in meaningful conversation with individuals who are changing the world, not just by breaking barriers, but by building new paths of inclusion, dignity, and empowerment. As someone deeply involved in inclusive research and storytelling, I believe in the power of dialogue to transform mindset and spark actions. Today, we spotlight a remarkable journey that combines sports, resilience, and innovation. It is a story that challenges perceptions and redefines what is possible. Okay. Moving further, I am delighted to invite I am delighted to invite or welcome our very special guest, Mr. Jagwe Muzafaru, founder and chairman of Blind Football in Uganda. It is a sport where vision is not needed to see the potential and passion speaks louder than sight. Jagwe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting me.
Uh, to begin, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jagwe Muzafaru, and I'm the founder and chairman of Blind Football Uganda, a parasport organization that specifically promotes and develops the game of blind football in Uganda.
Mr. Jagwe, as you mentioned that you are the founder and playing a pivotal role in introducing and expanding blind football in Uganda, something many people around the world might still be unfamiliar with it. So I would like to know that what inspired you to introduce blind football in Uganda? It is a country where adaptive sports are still growing in recognition. Over to you, sir.
What inspired me first is I looked at the games that are played in in Uganda when they are very few. The
Hmm.
games we have athletics, we have goalball, all those games are very few and they are not so popular. So I looked at it as creating another avenue where so many people can benefit, which can unite as many people as possible, and that's how I started. But putting in mind, blind football as something that we can use as a tool to
Hmm.
solve our social economic difficulties. And I looked at it as something we can use as a pathway to solve the difficulties that we have in our community of the visually impaired in Uganda. And yeah, it's what I focused on, and that's why I started it.
It is interesting to know that. Were there any challenges that you faced when starting with the blind football in Uganda?
Yeah, there are so many challenges. To start with, is the
Okay.
balls we used to play. So the ball we used to play has they are not made in Uganda. They are not made on the continent in Africa. So they make a rattling sound when they roll on the ground. I have one. Uh, this is one of the balls.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they have a sound system.
Okay.
So we listen to the ball. They are not the usual balls we have for the sighted. And then when it
Okay.
comes to the financial aspect, we haven't like attracted so many people to come and help us around. Human
Hmm.
resource is also lacking. I know how to run the sport. I know management, but when it comes to coaching, training, we don't
Hmm.
have that clear knowledge. But we are pushing anyway. But all these things we shall maneuver, and we solve
Okay.
these problems and challenges as we go on. Yeah.
So I have seen in the video that the persons with blindness are wearing some eye bands. So what is that? Is it some sensor is there in that, or is something else? How that band eye band is helping to the person with visual impairment while playing the football?
Yeah, so in blind sports generally, we all have
Hmm.
variation in our sights. So as a sport itself, we have to promote one thing that we call fair play. So I
Okay.
may be having a sight issue, but for me, I can
Hmm.
identify a shadow. Then another one can
Okay.
be having perception of light. So we wear those eye shades or eye folds on our eyes because we want to be on an equal leveled ground. That's why we cover our eyes.
Okay. So how does player, like the persons who are blind and they are playing football, is there anything specific other kind of facilities that are provided to them while training them?
Mm, uh, there are no specific facilities that are given. It's
Okay.
all through maybe individual effort, like me, and then
Okay.
other people who may be interested in the game, who are athletes. For example,
Okay.
when it comes to like maybe jerseys, we can source for them. Then the balls I just connect with friends abroad, and then they help us to get us the balls. Then the training facilities, we use the same training facilities as people who are sighted use, but sometimes we
Okay.
have to pay a small
Okay.
fee to access those facilities. And the rest are like normal football. We play like normal football. Only the difference
Okay.
is we do started football is for 11 people. One side 11, another side 11. But for us, we
Okay.
play five people. One side five,
Okay.
another side five, another team five. But the bit about it is the fifth person is the goalkeeper, who is a sighted person. So our goalkeepers are
Okay.
always half sight, and anyone
Okay.
can be a goalkeeper. But the four outfield players are visually impaired people.
So it is interesting to know that. So when you tell someone blind people play football, what's the most common reaction you get, and how do you respond to that reaction?
Ah, for sure. It starts as an amusement to very many people, and they say, "How can that happen?" And normally,
Yeah.
the only way I tell them is I just divert them to the rules of the game. First, I
Hmm.
tell them about the ball, how we play, because everyone will say
Okay.
they can't see when they knock each other. So
Yeah.
I just divert them to the rules and describe to them, and clear they understand. But most people always amused so much. But afterwards,
Okay.
after describing, and even if possible, I show them videos, and if possible, I
Huh.
direct them to our socials. Yeah, people
Okay.
end up understanding and change their mindset that really these guys can also play football.
So do they come forward to support your organization when they saw the videos and all that? That.
And not really, not so much, but some people come around to
Hmm.
watch us at our
Okay.
events. But when it
Okay.
comes to supporting, not much have come up to support.
Okay. So I have also heard about blind tennis that you are also focusing. Would you like to elaborate on this also?
Sorry.
I asked that I have also heard about regarding that blind tennis that you are also focusing on it. So would you like to elaborate on that game also, blind tennis? How the persons are with
Ye-
blindness are prepared for blind tennis also?
Yeah. As I started the journey for blind tennis, I think last year in
Hmm.
December, and I was anyway contacted by the president of International Blind Tennis Association, Samil. Samil is also based in the US, California.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
looked at the work I've done with visually impaired persons in relation to blind football, and he picked
Hmm.
interest. He thought that these guys can double. And for me, I look at creating more opportunities for them. So that's how I introduced to them blind tennis. But blind tennis is like normal tennis. And the
Okay.
only difference is still with the ball. It has bells in that make sound when they are hit. But we use a
Okay.
racket, we use a net. They separate. We are
Hmm.
separated. We play doubles, we play singles. So it's also something that. But it I haven't pushed it so much because I've
Hmm.
just begun understanding it, also rolling out to different communities. But I believe with
Hmm.
time it will also catch up like blind football has in Uganda.
Oh, okay. So as you mentioned right now that there is a sound in the ball, right? So how much time the person would take to prepare themselves as a perfect player
I
because
think
they
for
can't see the ball. How much
yeah, yeah.
training you provide them?
For beginners, we have been always giving them 3 sessions in a week
Okay.
on on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. But as I
Okay.
speak, we are now centering on only Saturdays because of the issues with our playing fields. In the weeks, there are some Premier League games that are happening that use the spaces, and
Okay.
sighted people use the ground. So we only use Saturday only. But I think if someone has ever played football when he had sight, it's easy for him to
Hmm.
adopt. He can learn it in even in 2 weeks. I've seen some people who have used only 2 weeks, even
Okay.
below two
Okay.
weeks. And then others can take a month, others can take beyond a month, depending on their learning capability and physique. Because some people you may find that they were not active
Hmm.
physically when we are not when the, so you have to take time, get them fit, and then start
Okay.
giving them those that knowledge on how to play. But it's very easy, very very easy. You can't take
Okay.
more than a month, I think, to learn everything.
Okay. Okay. That is interesting. So, Jagwe, do you see that technology is playing bigger role in training person with blindness in the future as well? How
Yeah,
important technology?
I think technology we haven't like for Uganda itself, we haven't
Hmm. Hmm.
um, explored the technological
Hmm.
bit of blind football which is involved. But I've seen other people in the Western world who are using these spaces. Uh, when it comes to statistics, technology will do a lot. Number of passes
Hmm.
someone makes, assists. Then also understanding how many fouls someone has committed. Because for us, we have a tally for fouls, number of red
Okay.
cards in a match. So I think there are some softwares that have come across, but we haven't like for us we haven't really got them to be used. But I think with time technology will be something good. Even when it comes to robots, I believe I've seen
Okay.
inside football people training with
Okay.
robots. I don't know if us also will soon adopt to the training using robots
Okay.
as well. Yeah, but we need technology, and technology, yeah, it does a really big aspect. Even when it comes to our communication, we have six
Okay.
referees. They have to communicate to
Okay.
one another, not in a format like someone
Okay.
maybe the the referee is on the sidelines, has seen something wrong, so he has to communicate back to the center referee. So you have to go to the pitch, outside the pitch, and then communicate you here, then come back to the pitch and then make a decision. I think those
Okay.
are things we are going to yeah, I want also to engage and see if at least in Uganda we can start bringing them to our country.
It's very interesting to have this conversation with you. So I'm more curious to know about your organization that is Blind Football. What kind of the challenges you are facing and how do you able to overcome the financial challenges? Is there any financial challenges that you are facing to train the persons with blindness? What
Yeah,
kind of the, yeah,
yeah. Truly, there are so many challenges that I'm going through. Personally, I studied a
okay,
sport, and
yeah,
anyway, so many people take me as someone who is more knowledgeable about the sport, not only in Uganda but even neighboring countries in Africa. And also, some people in Europe think that I know everything about the sport, which is not true. To start with, I've never been trained. I use internet
Okay.
knowledge. I go on the website, on websites, I read some notes, manuals. I go on YouTube, I look at videos, and then I start to implement stuff. But I don't have any certification. So
Okay.
one of the things that I want to maybe I look at working on is us
Hmm.
getting knowledge, clear knowledge from experts. Then we train ourselves. We know how it is work, how
Okay.
it works, how everything has to be done when it comes to safety guidelines and so many other things that are related to the sport. And then the other challenge of how we have managed to, when you look at the finances,
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
of the things that has helped me maybe to maneuver around the finances, I opened up a GoFundMe account with a friend in Germany. So uh, there are some people who have been donating on that
Okay.
GoFundMe account, and from that it has slightly helped me to organize events, move around the country, introduce the sport to other people. And then
Hmm.
when it comes to the pitches, yeah, it's a general problem. I can't even work it out because we don't have adaptive sports pitches in Uganda totally. It's a bit
Okay.
challenging. And then so many challenges, but the way we have managed to maneuver around is through improvising. For example, when we lack the balls, what we do, we can
Hmm.
get maybe someone can get bells, tie them on a normal ball, and then maybe get a polythene because we don't have the capacity to buy them abroad. So if
Okay.
we get a donation, then it's when we can help them. Then when it comes to boards, because when we are playing, our field is covered with boards on the 40-meter mark. So we improvise. We cannot get the standard boards, but what we do, we get
Hmm.
tables, benches to cover that 40-meter mark. We improvise as long as it is not harmful to the players, and then we
Okay.
play. So our major thing is improvisation. It's what has helped us to overcome those challenges.
So, is there any specific strategy that you are using to promote this sport in Uganda and at international level? Also, are people coming forward to join this sport?
Yeah, in Uganda, so many people are coming, and every time
Okay.
I get calls from people. I want to start. I want. How can I start it in my community? How can I do this? But sometimes it's
Okay.
a bit challenging because some people
Huh.
want to start, but they at zero level, which I also
Hmm.
started at. And the strategy which I've been using is one is
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
a trainer model. So if we are to start something in a certain community, I go there, I
Correct.
give them the knowledge. After giving
Okay.
them the knowledge, I leave
Hmm.
someone there to be in charge to train. But still, we give them
Okay.
the manuals, training manuals, books that they can read to get that information that can keep them running. And then another strategy I've also used, I've gone through communities that I know that are totally idle with visually
Hmm.
impaired persons. For example, schools, universities,
Correct.
um, primary schools, all these people, they lack
Hmm.
physical activity. And
Hmm.
when I go to those communities, it has helped me to connect with them and help them start up the sport.
Okay. So, is there any government support that is there to run your organization or to promote dignity and empowerment of person with disability in Uganda? You are laughing.
And no, I only depend on the only support I've got
Okay.
is through the GoFundMe page only. But
Okay.
government has just picked interest when we won the bid to organize the African Championship. It's when government has picked interest.
Okay. So, isn't there any policy there or the financial schemes are available in Uganda to support the this community? like in
No,
educational
we don't
institutions,
have any.
colleges, or university? Okay,
They
okay.
can
So
be,
how do?
they can be existing in a maybe advocacy side, like for
Okay.
buying equipment, other things. But for
Hmm.
sports specifically, we don't have them yet in Uganda. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, so how do you like move further, like policy related benefits that blind football in Uganda should have? So, what kind of the support that you are looking forward that government
Um,
should come forward to support your organization or specifically in sports side also?
I think what one of the things that has not been worked on, which we have
Hmm.
to work on, is have a voice
Okay.
in the sports law. So in Uganda, we have what we call a sports law, but the
Hmm.
sports law is totally silent about disabled sports. So
Okay.
all what is talked about is mostly into the sports which are for people who are non-disabled. So I think we just need a voice to be included in the sports law so that we have clear guidelines to talk about disabled sports in a broader
Okay.
perspective, but not just
Hmm.
having a sentence about disability sports. Yeah, it's what we have to
Okay.
eye on. Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, there is no specific policies or schemes are related to the sports. So, is it so in the other field also, like in education, like you mentioned that you are connected with schools and in universities or the colleges to train and bring out the people with blindness towards sports. So, I just wanted to know that is there any kind of the financial support provided to the people with blindness or the person with disability in educational institutions areas also? Is it available, like in India there are financial support is available for to pursue their higher education, and education is free at the school level. So what kind of the policies are there to empower the people with disability either through education or through sports?
No, we don't have such policies. So what we have
Okay.
is we
Okay.
have a government scheme of education.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they at higher level, at university level, they give
Hmm.
60 about they around 60 or 120 students on government sponsorship if you
Okay.
are a person with disability. But it's very competitive because in the entire
Okay.
Uganda, you can't just talk of
Hmm.
only 120 students that you can only support on the disability scheme. Then when we go
Hmm.
to the lower level, the government mostly supports, maybe it comes in when it comes to buying maybe machines, braille papers, but not so much. It's done once in a while. Most of the
Okay.
schools with persons with disability depend on donor support, like
Okay.
Rotary clubs can have maybe a year project, and then they come and support. Then individual personnels, then politicians. But we don't have free education in Uganda for persons with
Hmm.
disability. There are schools that are
Hmm.
government aided, but they say that they are free. But truly, when you go to those schools, you have to pay something, not at the level of a private school, but you can't go
Okay.
there and then you, you don't pay anything. It's a lie. But when government
Okay.
is telling people we have free education, but it is not there
Yeah.
totally.
Okay.
But
Okay.
some things that they are trying to do now is
Hmm.
they are trying to push for inclusive education. Most of the schools
Hmm.
have been not having inclusive education or admitting students with disability in their schools. But most of the government schools now, which are being set up, they have
Hmm.
a section that they call an annex department for persons with
Okay.
disability in the same school. They are trying it, but
Okay.
when it comes to supporting those departments, the annex side, it's
Okay.
also a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just wondering, after having a conversation with you, that despite the various challenges, how do you motivate yourself to proceed or continue with this sport? Like
I
there
think
are many challenges that you have mentioned right now. So what
mm,
makes you motivate or what makes you encourage to continue with this good cause?
I think the people, the players
Okay.
themselves motivate me to go
Okay.
further. Yeah, they motivate
Okay.
me to go further because when you hear their stories, for me, I never
Okay.
had a thinking
Okay.
of even
Okay.
looking at us qualifying for Paralympics. But when you sit
Okay.
with them, they tell you, I dream to be in the Paralympics. When the leader even has no mind of having it. So at a given time, it touches your heart and you feel like, at least I have to make this person at least become so happy. Maybe at least let
Okay.
him get achieve something through that. And it's one of the things that pushed me to uh, request the international body to organize the African
Okay.
Championship here in Uganda, just to motivate and expose these guys to the different opportunities
Okay.
that are in the sport. Yeah.
So I feel that they are looking look you as a hope that you are giving to the people with blindness, and that's why that motivates you to continue your journey in this support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving further, Jagwe, I just wanted to know if some individuals or organization wanted to involve or contribute to your cause. So how do they can uh, come to you, or how do they can contact you?
Yeah, so every organization that may want to work with us or be part of our
Okay.
journey, so they can
Hmm.
visit on all
Hmm.
social platforms. You can go and just type in Blind Football Uganda. You make a
Hmm.
search. So
Okay.
email, the email is there. You can email us at
Okay.
and then we can respond to you. There are contacts there. One of them is mine. Another one is from my other colleague. So you
Okay.
can get us at any time you want, and then we can discuss on what you can help us in which field and how we can work together. Yeah.
So, Jagvi, I have another questions. Like Uganda has just been announced as the host of the 2025 IBS Blind Football African Champion Division in October. So, what message would you like to send to the international team, sponsor, and supporter about coming to the Uganda for this event? How do motivate other countries to come out with their players and they should participate in this event? What message would you like to give?
Yeah. So
Or
one of the things that I have to motivate people who have, yeah, we got the bid to organize the
okay.
African Championship. It's a continental event for every African country
Hmm.
to come and participate. But what I can tell them is,
Hmm.
if you have a team and you had the
Hmm.
will to start your dream of participating in the 2028 Los Angeles Paralympic Games, it starts now.
Okay.
So if you
Okay.
are a member of the international body or the International Blind Sports Association, IBSA,
Okay.
just
Okay.
just go on the IBSA website. There is an
Okay.
application and even an invitation. Just go look into it
Okay.
if you can come to Uganda in October and participate with us. But the dream starts now. So we are organizing a
Okay.
division two, and for
Okay.
the division
Okay.
two, teams that will be top in division two will go to division
Hmm.
one, and from division
Okay.
one, when you can participate, you can
Okay.
participate in a qualifier that can take you to be maybe the top of the African continent, and then you can qualify for Paralympic
Okay.
Games. Yeah. So Division
So
One, we shall compete in next year.
okay.
In any
Okay.
country that will be chosen. So any country and any persons with vision impairment that are interested in the sport, it's what I can
Okay.
urge them. If you want to participate in the Paralympic Games, the dream starts now. So
Okay.
that's why you should be in Uganda in October.
Okay. So as you mentioned, there is a division one and division two. Is there any process to be there first in division one, then to be in, as you mentioned, division one, for division one they have to participate in next year. So what is the process there to be a part of division one?
Yeah, to be under Division One, as long as you have a blind football setup and
Okay.
you are a member of the international body, because these are sanctioned events. So if you're a
Hmm.
member of the International Blind Sports Association, IBSA, you
Hmm.
are free to come
Hmm.
and participate. So in Division uh, Two, These are
Hmm.
teams that have never participated in any international event or any sanctioned
Okay.
event, like us, Uganda. It's our
Okay.
first time
Okay.
participating. Then for Division Two, those are advanced countries like Morocco, Egypt, Nigeria,
Okay.
Mali, and then Ivory Coast. Those are top teams. And then for us,
Okay.
those any country that has never participated in any sanctioned event, they are free to
Okay.
come. And those that were relegated from Division One to Division Two,
Hmm.
they are also
Hmm.
open to participate. So you just have to be a member of the international body, and then
Okay.
yeah, you can come and participate in that event.
Okay. So as far I know, like in India, blind cricket is more famous here in India. So
Yeah.
do you would you like to share the countries that where interest in blind football is growing, like in Uganda? Are there any other countries that are participating in Division One as well as in Division Two also?
Yeah,
So is there
but
any specific? Yeah.
I think when it comes to blind spots, as per now, from my
Hmm.
knowledge,
Hmm.
I think in India, blind football is more popular now than cricket as I speak.
Okay. Okay. Because
Because even this
I
year,
have, yeah, I
you
have
are going,
seen many of my friends, those who are
yeah,
interested in cricket. I have
yeah,
seen them playing. So that's why I was aware about blind cricket instead of blind football. But you were mentioning about
yeah,
that blind football is also famous, getting popular in India. So I would like to know more from you.
yeah. And every year, last year they organized an event in is it
Okay,
Kochi?
okay,
I think
okay.
Kochi.
Kochi. Okay, got it. South India. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
am in North India.
even this year they are going to organize in Kochi again in
Okay,
national cup. Yeah.
okay.
So for countries that are in Division One, those are advanced countries like Morocco,
Hmm.
Nigeria, Mali,
Correct. Hmm.
Egypt, and Ivory Coast. There are five. So in Division
Okay,
One, there are always eight countries. So the other top three that were there were demoted to
hmm.
Division Two because some have taken like 6 years without participating in any international event. So they were demoted to
Okay,
Division Two. So in Division Two,
okay.
any country that has just started blind football, any country
Hmm.
that has never participated in any international event is under Division Two.
Hmm.
So we have likes of Uganda, we have Kenya, we have
Okay,
Zimbabwe, we have Zambia, we have South Sudan, we have Ethiopia,
okay,
we have South Africa. We have so
okay,
many countries. They can reach like 14 or 16 countries. Yeah,
okay, okay. So as you mentioned that in India also there is a blind football is interest in blind football is growing. So if
yeah.
somebody wants to get trained for this sport, how do they reach either to you or is there any other contacts that are available at your website?
Yeah. So what
How do
what
you?
the quicker way, because someone may go to blind football and then they feel what I've been seeing, most of the people
Okay,
have, have
okay.
failed to like blind football because they fear to, because it's a contact sport. Yeah, so you have to
Hmm.
attack one another, and people fear being maybe knocked or anything or getting injured. So what I can
Hmm.
suggest, anyone who is interested in any blind sports activity,
Hmm.
just go
Okay,
to International Blind Sports Association. That's the website.
okay,
So
okay.
under International Blind Sports Association, there are countries there. There is a section for
Hmm.
countries. So we are
Okay,
broken into regions: Africa, uh, Oceania, then Asia, and then North Africa, North America, South America. So
hmm.
you look for a particular country. If your country is a member of IBSA, the contacts are always
Okay,
there. If you
okay.
want us, Uganda,
Hmm.
our contacts are there. So for me, I'm into
Okay,
blind football, but someone can be interested in goalball or athletics. So I'm not interested
okay,
in goal. I'm not interested in athletics. So I can direct you to that person. But if you
okay.
are interested in anything like
Hmm.
blind football in India, you just go.
Okay,
You
okay,
check on the country representative. They will connect you. Even if you
okay,
like golf or cricket, anything, they will shut down. They will
okay,
connect you. Yeah.
okay, okay. So, is there any specific criteria or any qualification to be a trainer or to be a coach for the blind football?
Not really, but
Okay.
it only takes interest and commitment. Yeah, which some people
Okay.
mostly lack. And
Yes.
for the African
I.
continent, our biggest challenge is most of the people who come to us come
Hmm.
with mindset of
Okay.
getting paid, which we don't have even. We are all volunteers. So as long as you have the interest
Hmm.
and passion and you would like to, yeah, you
Hmm.
can be, yeah,
So
part of
that
the
means
team,
there is.
referee. Yeah,
Continue, please.
yeah, you can be a coach, you can be a referee, you can be a guide on the pitch, you can be maybe a match official. Yeah, anyone, even if you are
Okay.
sighted, even if you're not sighted, you can.
Okay.
Not necessarily that all people will play, but some people can play the role of officiation on
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
pitches. Yeah.
Okay. So now, as you mentioned, the people we used to get a very less support from the people, and they very less people would come forward. Those who are having passion, they would join us, right? So I just wanted to know, like the person who being a in this sport, how do this sport or the blind football is empowering the persons with disability or the persons with blindness as a employed person? Are they getting something from the international associations being a player?
No,
Because
no.
financial support is very important to survive. So I am just wondering to wondering, because you have mentioned your challenges also. People like community persons with disability community, now these days we are looking for the financial stability, right? So
Yeah,
how do you see this thing, and what should be to be done to make or empower the persons with disability through this sport or the blind football?
I
What is
think
your take on it?
yeah, I think what we should adopt.
Hmm.
The first aspect is us
Hmm.
reducing on
Hmm.
our expenses, because if
Hmm.
I'm to pay like 15 US dollars every weekend to
Okay.
pay a training pitch.
Hmm.
That money would maybe go to a certain person, maybe supporting
Okay.
that person. So I
Okay.
look at it, for me, the mode I'm using is to reduce
Hmm.
expenses as much as possible so that that money can be
Hmm.
diverted to our people. But
Hmm.
to be clear, the international body doesn't give out any money unless they are
Okay.
grants. For example, if they are grants from UEFA, maybe any
Hmm.
partnership they have, but they don't
Hmm.
have any support they give, because even them, they tell you they are also struggling. They are
Hmm.
also struggling.
Hmm.
So what we
Okay.
have to do as we have to look for our
Hmm.
alternative sources. Even me, it's what I'm eyeing. I want to start
Hmm.
maybe if we are going out, we start doing merchandising. So if
Hmm.
custom make our shirts, our national team shirts, then we sell them to people. That revenue can come back to us and help us in some or the other. Then when at least I am looking at having a pitch, but
Okay.
specifically for our sport, but when it can accommodate other sports. So if other people come on that sport, they have to pay
Hmm.
something, and then what
Hmm.
they pay, we can also
Hmm.
divert it and put it back into the sport. It's what I'm looking at. But
Okay.
all these things,
Hmm.
no athlete gets money, but unless you
Correct.
qualify. For us, I'm speaking on behalf of Uganda. For Uganda,
Okay.
unless you qualify for a major tournament, for example, if you
Hmm.
qualify for Paralympic Games, that we are assured that the government is going to give the playing team and even the team officials, they will receive
Hmm.
an allowance. Maybe if they go to Paris, if they go
Okay.
to Los Angeles, yeah. But there is no money from the international body that it is given.
Okay.
Even if someone wins the Paralympic
Huh.
Games, you just
Huh.
stop at biting your medal. That's the
Okay.
joy. But you don't get financial benefit in that way.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you believe that financial constraint is also one of the major factor for not being attracting the number of people towards this sports?
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
yeah.
It's a
So
very, very, yeah, it's a very big
major
factor.
reason behind, yeah.
Yeah,
So
when you look
uh,
at our environment
huh,
in Uganda here,
yeah.
we have visually impaired persons, but there is no way you
Hmm,
can find, like if
hmm,
I'm in Kampala, the capital,
hmm.
someone
Okay.
else can be coming from the suburbs, a very far distant place. So someone may be
Hmm,
willing to come and participate
hmm,
or come for training or a match, but
hmm,
that person doesn't have even transport to move him from home just to come to a
hmm,
training pitch, which can be
hmm,
like for about
hmm.
three US dollars. That person doesn't have it. So yeah, finances it limits both on the administration and even in the player aspect. It's a very, very big
Hmm.
factor. Yeah.
Okay. So, like you have mentioned that financial constraint is one of the major factor. And on one side, if we look at the international level, we are saying that we are going to achieve sustainable development goal by 2030, and no one should be left behind. So, I just want to know, if we want to achieve those goals, what should be done at your country level or at international level, or what should United Nations, like agencies like United Nations, would do or come forward to support your goals? How do we
Um,
achieve that?
I think one of the things that maybe the United Nations should focus on
Hmm.
is I haven't
Hmm.
seen them like they have the United Nations Development UNDP, that
Hmm.
agency.
Hmm.
I haven't seen
Correct.
them so much pushing for uh, sports for persons with disability in their plans. I think
Yeah.
UNDP also should focus on at least they have done a
Hmm.
little, but their focus
Hmm.
is now supporting refugee
Hmm.
athletes, which is
Okay.
literally a little bit small because when you come to refugee aspect, yeah, it's good, but a bit low, a bit
Hmm.
low. So what I think is they should also incorporate disabled sports in general. Maybe they can prioritize and say that this thing should be done.
Okay.
Oh, this sport particularly, let's support this sport. Then another thing I want to look at is to, we need more areas or avenues to push for uh
Okay.
because sports is a tool, and you look at the numbers we have when we have our matches or our events, we have so many people. So I believe there are some things for persons with disabilities that have not been advocated for in a wider aspect.
Okay.
I believe
Okay.
they should incorporate having campaigns using the sports aspect in that,
Okay.
and through that we shall be also tapping in their budgets, in their plans. Maybe if it comes to climate change affects
Hmm.
us all. We
Correct.
Supposing we have a league moving all over the country in Uganda, or a league in Europe, where they have a
Hmm.
league that moves in a blind football league which moves in all European countries. So at least
Hmm.
if we go to, maybe they are in Dortmund this time, then they go to London, and
Hmm.
they have that aspect of talking about climate change wherever they go. How many
Yeah.
people will get that message? So it's what
Okay.
I think. And then also us cooperating with already existing
Hmm.
organizations. These organizations have not so much been open. Their doors have not been so open to us, but it's what we want them to open up. For example, we use football. Why doesn't FIFA
Correct.
come on board? We
Hmm.
have UEFA. UEFA, at least UEFA is trying for the European side. They give them balls, they give them support. Because when I was in Madrid, yes, I got some balls from a link through you, which are for UEFA. But then we come to the African Confederation, it's totally hasn't adopted having disabled sports or disabled football, not only blind football, deaf football
Okay.
and deaf football, they are not even recognized anywhere in their structures. So I think it's
Hmm.
what we should also advocate for, so that at least we can have, we don't need representation, but recognizing
Hmm.
us, it's that. Yeah.
No, that recognition is very, very important, as you said. I feel, is there any specific message that you would like to give to the person with disability or the person with blindness in specific to come and join this sport?
Yeah, one of the thing I want to motivate to, or I want to tell the world is,
Hmm.
most people should know that blind football is not only for male players. Most of the people have seen us
Okay.
having videos, we
Hmm.
only have male players, but blind football
Hmm.
is also, we have blind football for the ladies or women blind football. So for me this year, it's my target. I have already 12 teams of uh, male blind footballers, but now this year I'm targeting to formulate two teams of women
Okay.
blind footballers. So if you're a lady and you are visually impaired anywhere,
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
contact any person you feel that is into blind sports,
Hmm.
and then find
Okay.
means of also participating. And then to the world and to the parents that are there, uh,
Hmm.
we have opportunities here. Most of
Okay.
our most of the diseases we have even can be
Okay.
preventable, because when it comes to our physical activity, we have a routine. For example, some people, they did have been in Europe. Some people have
Hmm.
a routine, Monday to Friday,
Hmm.
go to the
Okay.
office, come back to home. They from office, it's a Uber or a car taking them to home. They don't do any physical activity. So blind football or any blind sports or sports for persons with disability can be a remedy to the challenges that come up with fitness, obesity, so, and even socialization. You look at in Uganda here, I have got so many people who are disabled.
Hmm.
They don't have, they have lost hope of getting a job. They have no reason
Hmm.
of leaving home. Their interest is now TV, radio in
Hmm.
a home. They only socialize when they have family functions. So when they come to the pitch, we give them now opportunities, and even after the pitch, they connect with fellow visually impaired persons. You end up hearing, hey, this one is now moving out. Yet in the past, they have been fearing them to move out alone. Now these days, some people even can move in any space independently because of football. So
Okay.
I only urge people to come and be part
Hmm.
of, if anyone is interested, allow them to come to the sports arena or the sports sector. It can provide employment where possible. It can also
Okay.
provide relief in the social aspect. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Yeah. It is very interesting to know that the message you have given, and the thing that you have highlighted is that women blind football is also you are going to start this year. So I have just one small question regarding this. So is there any stigma regarding bringing women towards the blind football in Uganda? Is there any stigma? Like we know that women participation is very less in every field. So what is the status there?
I think the stigma is from fellow blind footballers who are men. It's where the
Okay,
stigma is coming from.
that's why I'm
So,
asking.
so when we get, normally when we train, I started training ladies at certain
Okay,
pitches with
okay,
separate training. Ladies are on the one side, the gents are on the
huh.
other side. So
Okay,
most of the people tend to tell, when the boys, boys are very fast and proactive. So when
yeah,
the girls, even when we try to do maybe an exhibition,
hmm,
people want them not as don't want us to give them more minutes to play.
hmm,
They
hmm.
want, these ones, they will not score goals. They take long to score goals. It's not exciting. So most of the
Hmm.
people take it in that way. They always want the
Okay,
boys because the boys play thrilling football. Box to box, they
okay,
run faster. So
okay,
it's the only challenge I'm facing. But in the community
hmm.
has a problem. They
Okay,
also, by the way, they also have opened up so much. They like seeing some ladies playing football,
hmm.
because some people have always asked me, is blind football only for male? Yeah, but the challenge comes in with
Hmm.
fellow players who are men. Men always want to play more time than even ladies. They want to reduce their time. If we are playing for 20
Yeah.
minutes,
So,
they say give them 10 minutes. We have to give us 30. So
hmm.
it's the only challenge I'm facing. But in the community, the challenge comes in with fellow players who are men.
Okay. So, Jagwe, it's a very interesting conversation I have with you. You are my second guest, and the things that you have highlighted and motivating in your current time to the persons with disability or the person with blindness to come and join this sport. So I just wanted to say thank you. And if you will be coming to India or in Kochi, let me know if I can plan this sport and I can enjoy that sport in Kochi. So thank you so much for being here and for letting us know about the blind football that is growing interest in Uganda. Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite Ken to join us. Ken, over to you.
Mute. Hello, I'm Ken Masson. I'm the president of the Rotary Club of World Disability Advocacy. And Jagwe, if you could share with me, I'll post it when we post this discussion on your GoFundMe page. So if anybody wants to contribute, they can do that. But if you want to join the Rotary Club, two people here are members of the club. And we are a world organization that works on the human rights for people with disabilities on a global level, virtually. You can write to us at RotaryWDA at gmail.com. So thank you to get this little advertisement for the club. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Jagvi.